Cracking guys, welcome back to Clash with Barndo. You'll notice Barndo 05 today sitting in above and beyond. They've got a bit of it's a cross clan match, and I'm just going to be going in for a live session on my two Town Hall 9s. I do have a Town Hall 10 in here as well, Barndo 81, and I'll look at those attacks later on. For now I'm just going to knock out a couple of Town Hall 9 attacks and just go for the threes. Nothing special, nothing over the top. I'll get to those. We're watching now at the moment. This is Incredible Hulk taking on Bew. Bew's gone across to All Nuts to help him. There's a few guys who've gone across. I'm not exactly sure of the entire list, but there is a lot of a bit of fun at the same time. So he's got a Queen Walk. Looks like a Shattered Go Hog. Afterwards, he's got the enemy Queen. The blower's going to play an effect, you would think, shortly. He probably could have used one hog on that expo. That would have been nice. He would have got that pretty early, but I guess no real need because the Queen's going to get there just with huge hit points, you know, to get rid of him. Keeps the Queen moving. But there you go. There's his Shattered Go Hog. He's got 4 wall breakers. It looks like they're going to be for his kill squad. That Queen should reach that air defence, so that shouldn't affect the Queen's healers. And it helps that the blower's going against it. A couple archers gone to the Queen, that'll slow her down but not play any major effect. Archers and a Dragon CC. So it looks pretty solid so far. He's got a good plan. It's one giant bomb, so it's a double set. That's nice. Good, you see a couple of hogs starting off. Saving 6 in the bag. King's used his ability. Golem's gone and left the King alone, so that's taking the King out of it. There we go, so that's the first heal, and it looks like he's going to save his second heal, which is good. He'll save that for those few Teslas in the midfield. Problem's going to be where these other giant bombs are. There they are. That's an alright split. With that heal on those Teslas, that'll knock them out. Very good. That looks like a pretty easy 3. So what was that? That was their number 12, Bew. That Queen will turn in shortly. But she's all over. Well done, Incredible Hulk. Didn't tell any guys that I'd be sneaking them on the reel at all. But it is good to see. One hog left, doing the job. Very good. Now let's have a look. I'm hitting number 25, I think it is. So it's Barndo 05, so the smaller heroes, of course, I've got to keep in mind. I've got a Shattered Go Hog. I've got a couple Clan Castle Witches. I've got Wall Breakers. I try not to take Wall Breakers too often in the lower bases. I do try and rely on my spells to get me into the cores. So you see with this base here, it's fairly common styled where you've got the open spots. Now normally what you find is there's going to be a Tesla probably protecting those 2 giant bombs and possibly the same on the other side. But as for where they are, you just don't know. There could be one set there could be one set in the middle. He could have one giant bomb beside all of the wizard towers. As a scrim and an organised match, people do things that, you know, you wouldn't normally do in standard bases. So for this one here, I'm going to go with my 2 golems to come into the side. I wanted to come in this side. I don't know why that was entirely the choice. Maybe I wanted to get the Clan Castle. What was I thinking? I picked that side for a reason. I don't know. Maybe because I'm going to get the Queen afterwards. So we'll work with that. The Queen's going to come in after the Clan Castle. So I'll get the Clan Castle first, then the Queen. That's probably what it is. I don't want to get the Clan Castle at the same time. You never know what they are. I've got the 2 poisons, so I can do one early and then do one later for the heroes as well, or skellies depending on where I am. What I will do is Wall Breaker inside. The mortars aren't going to play an effect. That Wizard Tower is not going to play an effect. So I want to start with one Golem, and he should cover that directly straight at that cannon to then take on both those archer towers to tank them. Then I'll use 2 wizards on each side to quickly herd that, so I can wall breaker in and work on the side. So pretty simple base attack, then I'll just hog as needed. I've got 3 heals, so I don't know if they're going to use single giant bombs. I don't know any of that kind of stuff, so it's just plain and simple, work it out as we go along. So that's the run through. Let's get into it. So I want my golem down. That's to go straight there. He didn't. That's alright. So I can get the queen out, I can get the other golem out. Alright, now I have got, I can back up the king to get in there, or make sure my jump, that will get me in. Alright, Pekka clan castle, that's a little bit annoying. Might use one of my heals, and let's start going from around here. Hoping that that Pekka doesn't kill me king. Bit slow on me whizzies. Didn't get that 3rd heal down. Alright, so terrible attack. Didn't feel comfortable from the start. Don't know whether normally I'll take a 3rd golem, and I've chosen to take the 2. It certainly would factor into it. So giant bombs were in the expected spot, and there you go, bacon at the end. Don't know, didn't feel too comfortable. Should be pretty easy to mop that up. You would just go hog that from the other side, basically. So you'd walk through those doubles, and you would just jump into the middle, and probably a stoned go hog would be effective. You could then get to that last double set of bombs. Pick a CC, so you just make sure the poison goes down. It's going to get 1 hit against the golem, which isn't going to do a major effect. Knee-jerking that first heal probably wasn't a good idea. Alright, I'll pause here and swap accounts, and I'll get into a Barndo 82. Righto, we're back here now for my number 2, and I've swapped over to Barndo 82 now. You see with my army I've got a 3 healer queen walk with a stoned go hog second section. I do have a few loons, so 4 loons there, only 4 wall breakers and 8 whiz. I'm looking at their number 15, which is Hector. And I did see this base has so many different variations to be able to hit it with, but I thought I'd give the Queen Walk a go, just the 3 healers, mainly because there's no point defences, main point defences where I want to go. I don't know what's in the clan castle, of course. It's a fresh hit, so I'm hoping it's not a Pekka for starters, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to start my Queen Walk up top, wanting to walk southeast, and I want to use a couple of loons over on that archer tower to sink that archer tower, and then I can use some minions to herd that elixir storage there. So I want to enter my queen into that second mortar, and then she'll come in and play funny bugger and do whatever she does. So she will get enemy queen. She will hopefully get that air defense. If there's a lot of Teslas and things like that, then I need to swing with it. I've got 2 poisons, so I want to use 1 poison for the enemy queen. That'll slow her down, and hopefully I won't have to use my rage straight up. And I've then got 2 jumps and a heal, because I want to jump my golem group in here and open up all 3 of those cells. and get a bit of a play in there and hog off that depending on what happens. The 4 loons, I will try and loon that archer tower over there as well, just to knock off that side defence so it's not smashing the queen and causing me to play havoc. So 2 poisons, one's for the enemy queen, one's for the clan castle, because they'll be a little bit separate. So we'll just sort of wing it from there, really. I need to make up for my previous attack, so I have actually got an army boosting now for a rehit. But it should be a fairly solid plan. I've got the 16 hogs and 1 heal. That'll be for the back end, and I'll be using those somewhere along the ends here. I couldn't expect that there would be giant bombs there, 2, maybe 1. I'd expect there possibly be some giant bombs beside that expo there, and I'm hoping my golems and king will get in there, so shouldn't be too much dramas. I'm not going to do anything special. Yeah, should be a fun attack nonetheless. So I want to start with my queen with the healers, and then the loons. Shouldn't be too bad an attack. Alright, let's get into it. Main thing I need to make sure is that when I start my queen, I get straight onto those loons to get that out of the way so I can herd for my queen. I'll put the queen just above that barracks. That gives me a bit of time, because she'll shoot down. I definitely do not want her to walk around. If she does walk around, look, it's not the end of the world, but then she won't get enemy queen, and I'll have to absolutely change it all. So I'll end up having to use my king over on the right hand side. So it's still doable. It gives me an option then, at least as a backup if shit goes wrong. You've seen before in my videos, sometimes I have failed to walk the queen the desired path, and you've had to sort of play. So having a secondary plan isn't a bad thing. And even if I went in there, I could jump around just below that builder's hut. That'd open up those 3 cells, get me the access to the queen, get me access to the clan castle. So it wouldn't be a terrible thing. And then the queen, I would just put her in that just above that cannon there. So that could be a secondary option. Let's get into it. I do prefer taking my 4 healers, but just with everything, it was a bit hard to get everything fitting into that one army. Alright, Tesla was not desired. That's kind of going to slow me up. Oh, that doesn't get the... Let's get this queen in. That's alright, so I've got the queen going the direction I need. Shit, I didn't double check my clan castle. I don't know that I've got a golem. That could be interesting. Alright, out comes a pecker. So I'm going to need to use my queen's ability no matter what. Alright, queen's going to go around out there. First jumps out. King did not herd well. Need to make sure I do get that down. Let's give the king a backup whiz. There we go, his turn now. Let's get some damage out on these. Alright, that should hopefully get my queen going the right direction. I've got DPS down the bottom. Let's get these other 3 hogs out. Time's looking good. No heals there, but just enough hogs. Funny buggers. So what I got here, skellies. 1 golem not split. Bit of a heart murmur there when I wasn't sure what was in my clan castle. Very good. Let's sneak out and see whether anyone is doing an attack. Nothing. Alright. That's it, guys. So yeah, hope you had a bit of a laugh. Double check, always double check those green lights. Make sure those green ticks and double check your clan castle. Other than that, clash on. What was I thinking? I've got one more attack to do. Alright, we're looking at now my second Barndo 05 attack. It's going to be a re-hit. Not everything's built yet, but they're not far off. So we're looking at base number, what was it, 23. So I did have one primary look at it. I've seen the replays. The replays puts 1 giant bomb beside that air defense, one giant bomb set between that expo, and the other giant bomb I think was somewhere over near the Queen. So we've got 2 blowers, not really doing much towards the Queen. I'm going to go in with a shattered golem and a dragon finish. I've got 2 lightnings. I've got a jump for my group, and hopefully a bit of hope. So you can see where that archer tower is facing. There's not a lot of point defense around the Queen. So I've got 5 dragons for her with a potential rage. I do need my golem group to push up into the midfield. I'm going to try and get into those Teslas and get them. I've got a mixture of units. I'm going to be using a giant with 3 hogs against that mortar to follow on to the arch tower and get that. I don't want that shooting my Queen at the end. I need to make sure I do that. And then I've got the same for the other side. I don't want that archer tower shooting and killing my Queen. So I need to make sure of that. It had a dragon Valk in the clan castle, so it should be pretty solid. I've got the air defense down there. That's what I'm going to be lightning. I've got a few minions, I think it is. 4 minions. They're going to be to start with down the bottom. I'm just going to start with a simple herd on that dark spell and hope that the minion goes around to the left, and then that way that's then going to make the dragons aim for that Queen and get in there. I want to make sure I get my dragons going not before too long, because if it's too late, then she's going to be getting the ire of my golems in midfield and all that. So it's not desperate. I want to make sure though that I definitely herd those side defences so they're not stuffing my Queen. And of course they'll back up with, they may help kill those air defences. So the jump will be probably somewhere around the town hall, just to cross over those sections and make sure I get that. But yeah, let's go and gem the shit out of it and get going. Double check my army. I've only got 6 wizards, so not a lot of those. That's the problem with using such a diverse army. It's almost worthwhile dropping. I might drop 1 of those, 2 of those. So that was what, 15 slots. How are we going to do this? That's left me 4 hogs, hasn't it? I'm just going to pause and just finalise my army. Okay, that should hopefully have it. So I've got just the 1 giant combo I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is make sure my jump is still aiming for the middle, but I want to get it between the air sweeper, town hall, and that cannon. So then that way my golems are tracking into the midfield and they'll still have the aggro on that archer tower. So I've got 5 hogs, and I'll start with 1 and 3 on that and throw in the other 2. That way I won't get them all hitting traps and stuff. But yeah, that should be about it. Let's get into it. Two golems, clan castle is my dragon. So starting with my herding first. I need to be aware, I did watch the attack versus the first base. He did struggle to get his wall breakers inside, so I need to make sure my golem's going to run between that collector and barracks there. Yeah, it should be a fairly simple start. I can put the golems out, a few wizards for the side, and then get my giant going with the hogs. Then that way I don't struggle to be able to get the wizards to herd properly. Let's get into it. I'm going to do lightnings as well, just get them out of the way so it's done. And I've got the poison I'm going to be doing on the run. Alright, everything's tick. Castle's probably done. 2 loons, I'll get rid of the arch tower early. Now, one of those days you have your raids and you second guess yourself. That's pretty much what today has been. Let's get that first. That's going to shoot that and that. That should do the job. I don't need to really do much else down there. Now my earthquake, it's only a level 3 earthquake, but I'll just push it in there. Might as well knock off a bit off that archer tower and expo. Now let's get going with my golems. Good. Let's get them going. Where's my king? Definitely don't want to use my clan castle. Alright, so they've got me hogs. Get that poison out. 2 more wizards out. Get that jump going. Alright, that's looking alright so far. Come on, Queenie. Alright, so I'm going to miss an air defence. Going to miss both air defences. Alright, so it looks like I don't make up for my shit first attack. So many accounts, so many attacks, and still I manage to stuff things up. I guess that's all part of the game. There's still a bit of love at Town Hall 9, and that's something I really enjoy. But the game's not completely gone. I did thought I would get a lot better coverage out of those golems, so maybe I needed to make that a stoned entry. And the 4 Teslas in that midfield, they obviously with that double giant bomb set just didn't have the legs. Alright, so it's 4 attacks, all different, and yeah, hope you had a laugh, and hope we go well on the wall.